Welcome to Keep It Clean for Happier You. This series, Asked and Answered, is dedicated to your challenges and your wins from the home front. Stay with us. Coming up, your mail. Welcome back. We're continuing our conversation with guests Joyce Saltman, Diana Hall, and Matt Beyer on our new series, Ask and Answered, answering your questions from home. Here is one from Maria, and Matt is going to read it for all of us.
Yes. Maria writes, I own a house cleaning business for some 10 years now. Have a few people helping me. My question, what to do when a customer asks one of my people to do a job, I get very angry. Then we run late for the next job. Don't want to start an argument with the customers. I'm going to tell the customer we can no longer help her with her home. I checked your website and left me impressed. Like to know what is your best advice to become successful in this business. Also, don't like when my people criticize each other so is too slow or doesn't do a good job. But again, I think this comes back to managing expectations. I know that when we start with a new cleaning company, we've had a conversation about what's important, what needs to be done on a regular basis, what maybe makes more sense monthly, and what annually. So that's all clear up front. And if there's any personal preferences, like not having your people on the phone the whole time, it should be established then. But Joyce raised a really good point, is that a lot of the animosity goes to the people just doing the work, and if it's the business itself that is making most of the decisions and is responsible for controlling expectations. So just throw that into the mix. But that's my take.
Okay, Diana, your thoughts?
Yeah. So Maria, she's owned her business for 10 years. Okay. So as a small business owner, I think I can speak from experience. I've owned a business since 2004. And, I always say I'm part designer, part psychologist, because when you're in somebody's home, it's their personal space, whether you're in their home or their office. Some people take even their workspace, very seriously, and it's a very personal thing to them. So you just need to remember that coming into people's personal space and really kind of read the person and how you're going to work with that person. I essentially, being in business for as long as I have, I'm basically just referral based. I don't do a lot of advertising anymore. I used to do a ton of advertising because your reputation is everything. So I think getting angry with somebody, it just causes that person to respond in defense. And it's never going to turn out well for you or that customer. That customer is going to tell their friend, who's going to tell another friend. And somehow there goes the reputation of your small business. So I think it is trying to figure out how to handle the client, speak to them respectfully and tactfully. Again, managing expectations, telling her customer or client, we're on a tight schedule and we'd love to do whatever the particular job is she's asking to do. But either next time or let me allow for that time now, but I can't do that moving forward. So I think it's just about managing expectations. But remember, your reputation is all that you have in the world of small business. So that's hugely important when you're dealing with people.
100%. Joyce?
I would merely add to this, when the cleaning service comes in, they need to say, we will be leaving promptly at 1 o'clock or whatever the time is. And if there's anything that you want done, let me know now. If not, it'll have to be after the next time we come, because we are leaving at 1 o'clock regardless of what comes up. So the responsibility is, again, on that person to say what they need done immediately. Otherwise, you are leaving at 1 o'clock no matter what.
Because you need to allot time. That's the most important thing for some special project or something she's asking. But I love to emphasize what Diana said, because we're small business owners. And to me, the customer is always right. Stu Leonard's in Norwalk, who was founded in 1969. I want to mention that their philosophy is written in stone and displayed at the front of the store that says rule number 1, the customer is always right. Rule number 2, if the customer is ever wrong, reread rule number 1. And Maria, I thank you for the compliment, but you're impressed with the website and everything. But to me, no matter if I'm right or wrong, the customer is always right. Because what Diana said, it matters. You're going down a wrong path if you start getting angry, especially with social media and platforms, and people can give you stars and Google you. You don't want to have that kind of a reputation. Is everything. Customer is number 1, no matter what your situation.
A great quote to that point. It was Benjamin Franklin said, "Glass, china, and reputation are easily cracked and never well mended."
Yes.
That's a good one. That's a good one. The Greeks say, I better have my eye removed than my reputation ruined. So that's how Greeks are, I guess they're serious about the reputation. So I agree. Next, Gary writes, I need help. Can you come over and help us? The answer is no. That's why we have the podcast, to help you via the podcast. We have all the experts here. I'm in a very difficult spot. My wife passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that, Gary. Last year. Now it's me and my teenage son. He's very angry and he's acting up all the time. His room is bad, garbage everywhere. We go for therapy together and separately. I work all day. When I come home, it's a disaster every single day. He also brings all his friends. It appears our home is their hangout. Ask the cleaning service to come twice a week, and they refuse to clean his room, claiming it's full of trash. Oh, I don't blame them. I'm looking for another service. Do you have any recommendations? Diana, any idea? Any thoughts?
Well, the first thing, it's a really sad situation, but for Gary and for his son, it's a very difficult time. The teen years are incredibly challenging, and when you have something so tragic as the mom and wife passing away, it just makes that period of time so much more challenging. One, I would say to Gary, my kids are now grown, I have one married, but what I would say is I used to have my daughter have her friends over all the time, because I always like to be able to keep an eye on, because that's the other thing with teenagers, right? They can get themselves in trouble. So being able to see what's going on firsthand is so valuable at that age. I think for Gary, I don't really think the answer is finding another service or having somebody come in and try to clean his room. That's a disaster. And I'm going to circle back to what we talked about in another segment. And I just feel like reward is really important for kids, because they have to have something to work for. When we work hard, we get paid, right? When kids work hard in school, they get good grades or they get rewards. So we all have a reward system of some sort. So in this case, he's a teenager. So maybe tap into something that he loves, a hobby that he loves to do, a place that he wants to go on vacation. And there's nothing wrong with a little deal making, right? And maybe
reward.
Make a deal with him. If you work with me and keep your room picked up so I can have somebody come in and clean, I know you've been wanting to go fishing. So if we can do that, set the goal, set an achievable goal, and reward him with something that surrounds a hobby that he loves or a place that he wants to vacation. If he works with his son will, I think, be more willing to work.
Do you believe in monetary reward?
I actually really do.
Money.
And that's also another thing. So money towards something. Maybe he wants an electric bike. I don't know. I'm just pulling something out of a hat. I don't have teenagers anymore, so I don't really know what their interest would be at this point. But yeah, money also is great, because you pay him reward him for the work that he does. Don't reward if he's not doing what's expected. So manage the expectation. Yes, I think it's about that, because listen, I love my business as a designer, but if I didn't make any money in my business, I'd probably be sitting on a beach somewhere, because you work and you get rewarded monetarily,
Yes.
primarily. So.
No, that makes sense. Matt, do you have any thoughts for Gary?
First, Gary, so sorry for your loss, and I'm glad to hear that you and your son are getting therapy for, it's a tough time.
It's true.
The first thing I'd probably want to say is that you can't really, it's hard enough to get people organized, decluttered when they're ready and willing and able. If you're not ready, it can be very hard. That said, there is a strategy we use that I recommend, which is quite simply, rather than focusing on throwing out as much as possible, focus on what you're keeping and why and how much and where it's all going to go. When you take that approach, the process is more about what you're gaining.
That's
What
interesting.
you're giving up.
Yeah. I never thought about it, Matt, that way.
Yeah.
What you're keeping.
It makes a huge difference because,
Yeah.
I'd say obviously what needs to happen is get rid of things. But when you open up that door, you sort of you release the willingness. It's like, maybe this is kind of getting in the way of what I want. And to Diane's point about rewards, is there a reason maybe you would like to get the room? Forget that I want to have people clean it. Is there something that you would like to be able to do in your space that you can't do right now? And one very simple thing is the idea of having people over. Does everybody know the chaos acronym?
No.
Can't have anyone over syndrome. Chaos. So
I love that, because people get motivated if they know somebody's coming.
yeah.
Is that what you're
space.
saying?
Yeah, exactly. You want to share this space?
Yeah.
But that could be a motivating factor.
And I didn't even think of that, Matt. I'm an interior designer and I didn't even think of that. But, his son's space, if we can get your space cleaned up and organized, what can we do in this room to make it more comfortable? Maybe they're gamers. So maybe getting great gaming chairs, repainting, just making it more comfortable for a teenage boy.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah.
Yeah, the more you say, throw this stuff out, get rid of this stuff, the more they dig their heels in and resist.
You're making him defensive. Yeah.
Exactly. He's going to defend stuff. It might even be stuff he doesn't care about, but because you want to take it away, it matters.
Even if it's trash.
Yeah, even if it's trash.
Joyce?
You people
Thoughts?
are all much nicer than I am. Right? I raised 2 teenage kids, and there is no question but the answer I had for my son, who was a total and complete slob. His room was a total mess, and there was nobody coming to clean, and I shut the door. And he could have as much crap as he wanted in that room. He could put in trash. I didn't care what was in that room. The door was kept closed. And you know what? Eventually he grew up. He's now a cardiologist, and he keeps very clean and neat, and he does all the things you need to. But when he was going through those years, I said, I am not having anything to do with this. The rest of the house he had to keep normal, but his room was his castle, and if he wanted to keep it a mess filled with I don't care what, the door had to be kept closed.
I love it.
It is important that door stays closed.
My recommendation is to pick up together as a team, get together and work with him in his room as a team and bring it up for therapy. Actually, I would, if I was Gary, I would bring it up for therapy, and I would, because I think he mentions they have joint sessions too. Therapy together. I would bring it up and see what the therapy suggests. Maybe as a team they can do something. That's my recommendation. Diana, you want to read Clara's, what she writes to us about?
Yeah, I would be happy to. Okay, so Clara writes,
Thanks, son.
Was told by my very organized sister that I'm a hoarder. I completely disagree. My problem, I love shopping. Oh my gosh, I have that same problem, Clara. So she has all her packages in the trunk of her car. So her husband doesn't want it. So she doesn't want her husband to see them, I'm assuming. We are both in the medical field and super busy. Our two kids live in the city. Last time my son visited, he helped me reinforce my collapsed walk-in closet. I think she means walk-in closet, I'm imagining. I don't know what to do. My husband is asking me to get rid of all my stuff and to stop buying more. We moved 3 times so we can have more room. Our basement and attic are full. My answer is we need to move again to a more suitable home. What do you think? Oh gosh, I don't think so. I think the more space you have, the more you're going to try to fill it.
Yeah.
Parkinson's law.
Yeah, right. So I don't think buying a new house is the answer. I do think getting a great closet system might be the answer. So if something is really pretty and organized, she might be more apt to want to get rid of things and just have the nice and pretty things. I was also thinking, she said both of her kids, she has 2 kids, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, out of the house. So if perhaps there's an extra bedroom that was one of their children's room, turn it into a beautiful dressing room with a nice big island in the middle with felt line drawers for jewelry and sunglasses and organizers.
My God, Diana, you're a designer.
Oh my gosh, I can tell you about my closet with all the little cubby holes that I designed for shoes. Just make it a really pretty space. Maybe some pretty wallpaper, a beautiful fixture, some beautiful lighting in this space. And then she might be more apt to want to keep it organized and maybe not bring in so much stuff just to clutter it up. Just a thought.
Yeah. Matt, you're the organizer.
So my first thought is, I agree with Diana. Don't move. But you can live large in a small space if you're intentional.
I love that.
About what fills it up. Without limitations, it's likely that your space will ever be enough. One of the things I believe is limitations breed freedom. And the way to do that is setting up dedicated zones, much like the closet that Diana was talking about. You know, by working through everything and prioritizing what's important, and then saying, okay, how much space do I actually need to limit this to? You set those limitations, and they're easy to maintain as long as, you know, one limited dedicated space is not overflowing into another dedicated space. But the big challenge we face these days is that stuff circulates into our lives way too easily. So you need a competitive plan for things to circulate out. So recommend a donation depot in your garage for when you're done with things. Collects there.
I love that idea.
If that right next to the trash can recycling bin, donation depot. It's heading out.
I call it the gift box. Joyce,
Gift box.
As a hoarder, I will make 2 statements. One, my daughter, who is a minimalist, often says, "Ma, you have too many things," right? And I have what I consider beautiful things on certain tables, they're well organized. But they are not things to me. Each one of these was a gift from someone, often who are no longer here. And when I look at the thing, I am reminded of that person. I feel very loved by that person.
Yeah.
Secondarily, and as a person who does have all the beautiful walk-in closets you could ask for, whenever I have an empty room, I turn it into a closet room. And in fact, this house has an entire room downstairs that is a cedar room that they had built already as a closet. However, I also spend my extra money on storage units. And storage units, if you can afford to have a storage unit, they take away the pressure of having to do something with this immediately. So if you can afford a storage unit, the reason why they are proliferating all over the country is because there are many people like me who are either not ready to sit down and look at this and determine what should be kept, or don't want to get rid of it. They want to keep it for when their grandkids are grown up or whatever it is. That's another option.
So you're more sentimental. Diana, go ahead, hon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you would. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yes.
No.
No, I was going to say to Joyce, she's more sentimental about what she's keeping because you have an attachment to things that people gift you.
Yes.
Sounds like you have a lot of things that spark joy.
Yes.
So you're not a hoarder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about something, and I think it was something that Matt said. I love the idea of the donation bin. I'm going to get that and put that in my garage right after this, probably, because my daughter just moved home, and after coming back from Miami, so she's going through things and organizing, cleaning out, and it's kind of prompted me to want to do that too. But it just made me think about something, some little bit of advice she gave me. I love shoes. And she says, Mom, if you're going to buy a new pair of shoes, you need to get rid of a pair of shoes. So actually today I did just that. I just got a new pair of beautiful boots, in my opinion. So I
always dress.
Found 2 pairs of boots that I never wear, and I took them out of my closet on my shelf and put them on the floor. And then after this podcast, I'm going to start a bin, and I'm going to put those shoes in the donation bin. So.
My thought is it's difficult because I changed sizes. I used to be a smaller size, and I gained some weight, and I keep saying, I'm going to lose the weight. So I'm keeping all the old clothes because I'm thinking about the money I spent buying them. And suddenly I decided to get rid of one grouping, like my jeans. And it was very emotional. I spent this kind of money for this jean. This was a designer. And it's not easy letting go of things. And what Joyce said about the attachment, it matters because people gift you something and you love them and you want to look at that item. I see where Joyce is coming from, but to Clara's point, I don't think Buckingham Palace will be big enough for her. You cannot keep moving to a newer home. And if she's in the medical field, my recommendation is to talk to her colleagues and friends. Join a self-help book about buying. I don't know how bad she's buying, but if she's really broke her closet or something she mentions here, I think something broke and her son fixed it, the collapsed walk-in closet. I think this is serious. So I would join a self-help book. I would ask strangers. I would ask colleagues. Consider therapy. Good luck, I think.
There's a great statistic on storage. For every McDonald's you see, there are 3 storage facilities. So a lot of people are doing what Joyce is doing. Yeah. Get into that business.
Yeah, we should get into the storage business. But I think with Joyce is she's very attached and she feels she can pass it on to her grandchildren and whatever in the storage unit. Joyce, I'm speaking on your behalf. I don't know.
Let me assure you that I have one storage unit that I filled up with the things when I moved from my house in Cheshire over 20 years ago. And I have not opened one of those cartons. So clearly I do not need those things. However, I have too much fun things to do to want to go and spend the number of hours that would be required to go through those boxes. So you also have to determine what is the most important way for you to spend your time. So, I have enough money to pay for the storage units. I've decided that I'd rather spend my time doing other things with people.
We're going to be right back. Stay tuned for our next segment. You've been listening to Keep It Clean at dirtdirtgoaway.com. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Gabriel Tax and Accounting, a family business for over 65 years, providing bookkeeping, income tax, and payroll services to businesses and individuals from Fairfield County and beyond. Check their website if interested, gabrieltax.com. You have an open invitation to write to us your challenges and wins from the home front using the contact form at dirtdirtgoaway.com. Bye for now. Till next time, keep it clean.
You can listen or comment to Keep It Clean for a happier you anytime at dirtdirtgoaway.com or on radio1400.am and on all social media platforms.